I don't have a problem with the way that you deliver things. I think you and Taleb and James Lindsay and is that the thing? Is that the background that you and Taleb both have? Because there is definitely some similarities in the way that you deliver your discourse online.
Yeah, that's another great question. I think Nassim and I are very good friends for several reasons. One of which, at least if I can speak for him, in terms of, I always joke that Nassim thinks 99% of humanity are useless cretins that should be, killed because they're imbeciles beyond redemption. And that I am one of the few who makes it into his.
You're in the cut. You're in the 1%.
I'm really in, like, I think getting the approval of Nassim might be bigger than a Nobel Prize, right? I mean, I say that slightly facetiously, but I think the reason for that is because he appreciates in me that I am a costly signaling guy, meaning that I walk the walk. I don't give a shit.
Skin in the game, man.
Right? So because of that, he respects that. And I also respect that in him. So partly because of our similar personhood when it comes to that combativeness, maybe partly because of the Middle Eastern thing. When you are my friend, I will die for you, right? So, and I won't get into specifics, but I could tell you that when it came to, at certain points, him defending me for something, he was willing to blow up the world to come in my defense. Now, for many people, so for example, I have other friends who Nassim despises, and they will say to me, they can't understand why I would be friends with him, right? Because they see him as this vile, nasty. But the reality is that if you're in his corner, he's much more likely to fight and die for you in the trenches than those highfalutin bullshitters who would turn away when you're screaming for help and pretend that they didn't hear you. So I think because of that trait, we're simpatico on that dimension.
Fair weather friends, man. No one needs any of them.
Exactly.
Why is it the West where these ideas are proliferating? Surely living standards being high should give people less to complain about, not more.
So there are several reasons for that. I mean, some of it comes from the Frankfurt school that kind of kicked off some of this bullshit stuff. Some of it is that, if I am suffering every day, not knowing if I'm going to get my minimal caloric, food for the day, I don't have time to pontificate about feminist glaciology. So in a sense, it is a measure of the decadence of the West, right? Like it's kind of the Caligula effect, right? When Rome becomes too, imbued with all of this hedonic pursuits, it kind of self-implodes. So I think there's a similar thing here where instead of, feasting at the buffet of gluttony, the actual food, we're feasting at the gluttony of bullshit ideas, because in a sense, it demonstrates how well we have it in the West, right? But by the way, that's another thing that really pisses me off, because the people at Wellesley College who are complaining that they were misgendered should have lived Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning of my childhood in Lebanon, where I didn't know at 10 o'clock whether at 10:05 my head would still be connected to the rest of my body. Maybe that's another source of indignation, right? When you're constantly whining, when you simply don't know what else there is in the world, right? That is frustrating to those who have lived that, right? So Ayaan Hirsi Ali, do you know who that is? Yeah. So Ayaan Hirsi Ali should be someone that people seriously listen to because she's lived Islam. And yet she is a, Hitler bigot who is an Islamophobe. I mean, if a black woman from Somalia who is an ex-Muslim is somebody that doesn't carry the right identity markers to speak about Islam, then we're lost, right? So I think that's another reason of my indignation. And that is that, boy, are you sheltered when you complain about the things that you do in the West.